What is up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is November 1st, 2019. It's the first of the month, and we're back for a weekly profit recap and market insight session. So, what's up to all the new people? This is our free session of the week, and we're gonna get started, just getting things ready. And today was NFP week, so we did have some movement as expected. Let's check it out. We had some mixed data come out, and so I'm going to speak about that, then actually go over how to actually take partials and move stop losses as trades go out, and then go over how the week went, and it was a pretty darn good week if you ask me. So let's just look at the results real quick. 8:30 a.m. we had average hourly earnings come out worse than expected. NFP came out better than expected, and I was kind of on the side of being better than expected just because 90K as a forecast was just too low. This is a decade low, and we had this actually a few months ago, I think in maybe July or August, where NFP printed out 90K new jobs added. And so with that being said, I was a bit reluctant at believing the forecast, and so that's why I told us to stay in our trades. With that being said, that's why it's okay with us trading the trades, and it played out great for us for gold and euro. Unemployment rate is at 3.6%. It's usually at 3.5, and then we had manufacturing PMI come out worse than expected. So it's a mixed bag of fundamental release, but most of our trades are still looking as they did on Thursday, with the same bias. So let's go into that. Let's actually talk about the first trade we took and how to take partials, because we did have someone ask. And so this was our Euro NSD trade. As you can see, it played out pretty nice. Someone asked, when we have trades with multiple TPs, how do I manage the trade? So I'm gonna basically go through that right now. And so I'm gonna bring out the horizontal array, and we can see our entry for our Euro NSD was at 1.74872. So I'm going to simulate taking partials, okay? So our first take profit was somewhere right here, 30-ish pips away. When we hit that target, you want to take 50% or 80%, whatever you choose. Just take some of your profits off the table, and you move your stop loss to entry. So what happened is your stop loss, instead of being up here, would be at entry. And your next take profit would be take profit 2, which we had was somewhere down here. And so that way you secure this amount of profit, you make the trade risk-free by moving your stop loss to entry. And now someone asked me, well, if I put my take profit to the first take profit, it's going to get closed out. And so to them I say, if it does get closed out, just do some math, right? So let's say I entered a 1.0 standard lot in my sell, and it hit the first take profit. I got closed out in $300 profit, right? So to get take profit 2, I'll open up a 0.50 lot at this entry right here, and our stop loss will be our entry up here, and our take profit will be the take profit 2. And then once take profit 2 is hit, so let's say take profit 2 was hit down here, and it closes out, you'd open up a 0.25, so another half position of the previous trade. This is your new entry. Your stop loss will now become the first take profit, which is here, and your take profit would be down here, the next take profit, which is take profit 3. So hopefully that makes sense. Once you practice it a bit, it'll kind of make sense. If you're going to sleep and you don't have time to manage the trade like that, just take it to take profit 1 and call it that. There's a lot of other opportunities during the day that you can take advantage of, but getting take profit 1 is fine. When I call signals, I enter the same trades you guys do. And so if I'm going to sleep, I'm only going to get take profit 1. So sometimes, especially people in London session, they actually make more than I do just because I'm usually asleep, and that's when a lot of the movement happens. So enough time on that. Hopefully that makes sense to some of you guys. And you practice those principles, because in Forex, pips don't come easy, and the markets, you got to take what they give you. You can't be too greedy. Not every trade is going to drop 50 pips at a time. It's going to drop 25, retrace 15, then drop another 25 in succession like that. So While I go over how this week went, you can send in your pair recommendations that you want me to analyze, and I'll give that insight at the end. So EURCAD was a great trade. We had a target of 110 pips, and pretty good. The next trade we took was gold. This was our first gold trade, and we didn't get that big of a movement, but we did get movement, and it was, I believe, down here. So for this gold trade, we got around that entry at 1487, and we got 30 pips, 37 pips before we got spiked back out. And I believe this was due to some fundamentals on Wednesday. So that was the first trade. That's why you take partials and move stops to entry, because one news release could take out all your profits and get you stopped out with slippage. You can see how much gold spiked. This is why we be safe. Our second time with gold was a lot better. So this was the gold short we took yesterday. A live analysis done during a live session and a live entry. And NFP definitely helped us. We hit 1503.47 depending on your broker, with an entry at 1509.58. So we actually had a better entry for the signal. I think it was around 1511. So 80-ish to 85 pips made right there. And you can see the idea is still in play. Even though we had mixed results, we kind of are printing a indecision candle. And what an indecision candle is a candle with a body of whatever size with an equal wick to the top and to the bottom. So depending on the next few hours, we'll see how the daily closes. The markets are due to close in 5 to 6 hours. So going into next week, we'll be holding this trade. As you can see, we got spiked out our entry. So currently we're not in this trade anymore. But then again, this is why you take those partials, because at 8:30 a.m. we had this big move down, and then at 10 a.m. when this came out, we had to move back up. So got to secure that bag, you got to secure those profits. So next week Sunday, if it stays as it is, we'll take the short again, no issue. And it's all price action. Pretty simple. We just trade levels, trade candlesticks, and you can see how good of a resistance this 15-13 level is. Rejection here, we had a sell-off, rejection here, sell-off, rejection here, sell-off. Even looking to the left, you can see that. So that's what we're trading. We're trading ranges, and when we get that confirmation, we enter the trade. Moving on to another highlight trade was CAD yen, which we're still in. So this is not the chart. Yeah, so CAD yen short, another live trade that was called on Tuesday, and what a clean zero drawdown entry. And let me try to pan out so you can see why we took the short. The short actually starts on the monthly, but on the daily you can see a nice resistance region designated by this blue rectangle. You can see CAD yen tried to make a rally higher, but we didn't get that patented break, retest, rejection, and we had price close back within our range. And what we mean range is this. You can see there's a trading range from this support region to this resistance region, right? We can see that. And so what we're expecting for CAD yen is to fulfill that range. It's a very simple concept, and we got further confirmation is if you look at the second blue region, it's a minor resistance on the hourly time frame, and we absolutely crushed that. So we're looking to go lower. Currently we're up 70-ish pips on CAD yen, and this will be a risk-free trade. We didn't even get any retrace after the first two take profits. That's pretty good. And yeah, we can go to the monthly and you can see why the trade was taken. So on the monthly, you can see we have a trend line dating back to December 2014 come into play. We had a first touch, our second touch, our third touch. If we zoom in real close, we can see we had our fourth touch right here, and it's a shooting star in the making on the monthly time frame. So pretty good idea, and the weekly is definitely bearish. You can see this bearish engulfing candle engulfing the previous week. So we're definitely going to see more downside, and we have another 210 pips to go. for this swing short. So we do a mix of intraday and swing trade ideas just to keep it not only unique, but sometimes when there's a lot of news in the week, swing trades tend to filter that out, and you can kind of set the trade and forget about it. So this is definitely a set and forget trade, which will probably have dividends pay off for the next week or two. So great trade idea there. And then we had Aussie yen, which is another trade that we analyzed. And for this trade, we had two scenarios, right? And you can see we had a long scenario, which ended up playing out. We also had a short scenario, which didn't play out. And so I'll explain both scenarios since they're explained on our Tuesday session. All we wanted to go long was a close above this horizontal, right? It's an hourly resistance, and all we needed was a bullish closure above. The level in question is 74.822, and if you go to the hourly, you can see the nice closure we got. You can see we had the closure above on this candle, we had the retest on this bearish candle, and this bullish candle was a rejection. We love to use that retest, that break, retest, rejection method. And you can see after we got that, we had a nice clear push, coming pips within our final target, and a nice 35 to 40 pips made here. Our short idea was very simple. You can see we have support right around here at 74.450, and we wanted to close below that level, and then the secondary level right here to signify the short. We did not get that. We actually printed, two hammers off that level, and so obviously that's not a bearish closure that we're looking for. So a pretty simple trade setup, and the entry criteria for a lot of our trades are pretty straightforward. And so with people with different time zones, you can enter the trade when I'm asleep. Not every trade's gonna be a signal just because I can't be awake 24 hours. But I'll let you know if I say we need a closure above this level, a retest and a rejection, then enter the trade. And this is a simple formula that happens. So another great trade, and I think we had Aussie dollar, which is a trade that did not happen. So another thing about the entry criteria, let's go to the daily to show you guys. I don't know why the stop loss is up here. Yeah, okay, because it went up there. We had a potential short, right? We came into contact with the trend line, and we came to some resistance. So I was thinking of a short. But we can see on the smaller time frame, we didn't get that entry criteria which I specified, and it was very simple. We wanted to close below 0.68600. Okay, this hourly support you can see right here. If we got to close below, I'd be confident going short. We didn't get that, and so that's why we did not take the short. We were targeting basically this trading range right here. Okay, and so a close somewhere down here was going to be enough confluence for me to go for a short for 40-50 pips. We didn't get that, so obviously that trade idea was scraped and dusted. But yeah, so after this we had one more, and I think that was it. And this was a trade we discussed last Friday's session, USD CHF potential long, and you can see, once again we had that break, retest, rejection, and a nice push to 50 pips before it came back down and went the other way. So pretty solid week. If you have any pair recommendations, let me know on the YouTube chat, and I can get to them. Or also just be looking at a few things such as Bitcoin. Let me just get back to someone. And if you haven't already, sign up for our portal. This is our beautiful portal. It hosts our live session. So when we're not doing free sessions on YouTube, it's actually hosted in the portal. You just click this and you click play. You're gonna see me talk right about now. Cool. Pretty solid week. And we also have our past live sessions in case you missed one. And all our live sessions are posted on the portal within an hour or two. So if you couldn't make a live session, it'd be there to view within an hour. And you can watch at your own leisure, stop and pause. Also, our portal has signals. So If you want my signals, you can just click RP Forex, and there you have my signals. You can see everything I called in the last few hours. We also have an education section with a bunch of courses, and we have charts. So if you don't have TradingView, or if you don't have TradingView Pro and you want 4 charts open at the same time, when we have a live session, all you need to do is all you have to do is put the live session on one side of the screen, and the chart on another, and any line I draw, you can draw it as such. You can even change the chart to whatever you want, and you can analyze as we go live. So it's a pretty nice trading room, and it's totally free to sign up. All you have to do is go to forexlens.com/forex-trading-room and click sign up for free. If you want to become a paid member, and a paid member gets all our sessions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when we do the main analysis and the signal calls. If you're interested in that, you can sign up using this. And when you do become a trade room member, on top of the live sessions and all the portal features, you get all of our signals. So we have 6 different signal providers for the taking. So you don't have to just get signals from me. There's other traders. They're just designated for signals. So any time zone that you're in, you'll always get a trade to take. So another great thing, and we all average around 300 pips per week. If you do the math, that's around 1,800 pips per week to get from 6 providers. So because you guys are, this is a free session, and I like to do this, and you're interested in trying out the paid version, I'll give you a 25% off coupon code, and the code it's a very simple code. It's 25, capital O, capital F, capital F. Okay, you're gonna use this code at checkout. So when you go here and you click Get Full Access, you're gonna fill out a short form. It's gonna take 2 minutes, and when you get to checkout, you're gonna put the coupon code. So fill this out. Click Next, and at the checkout, at the cart, you will see a coupon code. Just enter it in, and the coupon code is 25 off. So you're gonna get around, it's gonna be $74 for your first month in the trade room. All my sessions, you'll learn price action, and we also have a beautiful chat. So if you have any questions for me, you can ask them here. You can go through our past history. So new trader, how can you properly? So this was one of the questions. That's what I explained in the beginning. I'm gonna hold up until so we have a nice ongoing discussion, and you can use this chat during the live to ask many questions, and you can even leave questions after the live is done. So pretty solid session and week this far. Now looking at trades to take, in particular, other than the gold trade, which we're looking to enter again, we do have euro, which we're also in, and this is where I told you guys to make our stop loss 15 pips. Because we did have not only NFP but some manufacturing data at 10 a.m. and thank God we did, because you can see it kind of reacted pretty harshly to that data. After the NFP results, I was expecting Euro USD to just fall out the sky, but thankfully we got stopped out at 15 pips because we took that precautionary measure. So if we stay the way we do and this doesn't go any higher, can definitely short it again, just move it over and take an entry from here. The trade idea is still there. Going to the daily, you can see our Euro USD chart coming out of an descending channel right here, breaking out of an ascending channel, and it's kind of stalled at this previous level of 1.11600, right? And so we were banking on that stalling. On the flip side, the daily is looking bullish, right? You can see on the daily we're printing a hammer. So instead of this short idea, which we'll scrap, we can go long. And the last time we had this rally, our target was 1.12500, but we didn't get the entry criteria. So we can have a long for next week on Euro USD, and I think that'll be a favorable trade setup. So something like this to 1.12500, 2.2 risk reward ratio trade. I'm not complaining. So we can enter this as soon as Sunday. Or on Monday's free session. So that's what I see for euro, potential long. Gold, I see a potential short because technicals are still staying put. Pound USD, you can see in yesterday's session we were having the potential for a short. We just didn't push high enough to activate our alert, which is still active. But if pound can somehow just push back up here, I'd be happy to short off this previous resistance. We could, on the flip side, just fall from here to our take profit as well. So I'll probably, reanalyze this on Monday's free session to see if we want to go short. But it's a nice week next week because NFP week, we usually get a lot of the news out of the week. So next week's going to be pretty calm, and we'll definitely be taking more trade setups. But yeah, we have Euro USD long, gold short, potential to short pound as well. And CAD yen is still playing out for us. We're still in it. If anyone has any last minute pair recommendations, let me know before I look at some pairs and call it a day. So Euro Aussie, another potential trade we could have taken, and it has not played out. So no point in looking at that. I'll look at Bitcoin just to see what's up with that, and we can send this session off. Someone in the chat said NSD yen. Okay, cool. I'll look at NSD yen. Euro pound. Sure, I'll look at Euro pound. Brendan. Sure, I'll look at those pairs. So I'll look at NSD yen and Euro pound. So let's look at that Euro pound. So going to the daily. Actually, let's go to the weekly because we did have a swing short we took. If you guys remember back in, when is this? August, we had a swing short for a Euro pound. And what a beautiful trade that was. Played to perfection. Where do I see Euro pound going now? Well, you can see from our weekly time frame here, we're pretty close to this trend line right here, and I think it's from the monthly. Let's see what it's looking like. Okay, so on the monthly, you can kind of see Euro pound was in this kind of tweezer pattern, right, where it was kind of getting squished in a pendant, and it had a rally, you can call it a rally to the upside before hitting previous resistance and coming back in the tweezer. So just based off the monthly time frame, we could have a miniature move to the bottom of this trend line. You can see it's significant. And it dates back to 2017. We had our first touch here, our second. We could have a third touch down here. And the Euro pound, we still have the Brexit fiasco, and Brexit is getting extended to I think December 12th when they do the vote, the next election, and then December 31st when they have the members of Parliament voting for Brexit. So Brexit's been put on hold for Boris Johnson, and maybe this will help Euro pound get to here because they're expecting if Brexit happens, the UK's economy will go down by 3.5%. I think that's what they're predicting. So obviously that's not great. So I think Brexit being put on a hold could actually be good for the pound, and so a stronger pound could in fact lead the Euro pound lower. And just based off the monthly, we are coming to some support here as well. So I'm gonna get my tool out just to cover this area of support. Okay, and let's extend it over just to see if there's any confluence. So we have some support at 0.85,000. Back to the weekly. See if there's anything. On the weekly, we can pop out the fibs to see if there's a potential to retrace. It does look like there'll be a retrace. So going from our last swing high to our swing low, we can see where a retrace could probably be. And in the past, if we look at past retraces, it was in this blue region, which is at the 38.2 fib level. So we could have, Euro pound make a deep retrace to here before going on that final push down here. Just because it's printing some hammers, looking like it'll, do a retrace. Alternatively, it could say screw the retrace and go down. And to catch that next down move, we can do is actually pop to the 4-hour time frame and get a better idea. So on the 4-hour, it's actually more clear what needs to happen. On the 4-hour, the last time Euro pound slipped, the lowest it went is at this line right here, 0.85758. You can see, huge wick down here, a few more wicks down here, so we can, you know, make this right around here. And so this is a support for the euro pound. And if you're trying to get the next, you know, push down, it's just gonna be pretty damn simple, and that's waiting for a close below this level. I know we're right here right now, and you know, this price action is pretty ugly, but if we get a close below this level, I would not be surprised if we you know, go to our target of 0.85 thousand, or even lower. So for euro pound, that's what I see. I mean, right now the 4 hour is kind of a mess, especially this candle. It's probably due to the PMI and whatever being released. I don't think there's anything else. So a pretty disgusting price action on euro pound. Don't really like it. I mean, the 4 hour is pretty ugly. We have a lot of wicks at the top, a lot of wicks at the bottom, you know. So yeah, if you want to get a nice directed move, you know, whether it's short or long, for the short we want to close below 0.85700. So that's euro pound for you, Brandon. I believe someone asked NSD yen, and it's funny that you asked that. It's because we actually did a top-down analysis for euro and for NSD yen. So we'll take a look at that, see what it's doing. And so it's still doing the same thing. And actually, wow, yesterday we talked about a short and it played out perfectly. So going to the monthly, NSD yen, I was looking at it was going to be a good short because it was coming into this previous trading range. We can see a strong resistance, a strong support region. If we zoom in, we can see continuous lower highs, lower lows, and oops, trading view, messing around. You can see, you know, this previous blue region was a nice support, and NSD yen actually closed below it. And so, you know, that was a good signal to go lower. But what happened was, with the Brexit and not only that, the trade war deal happening, the yen lost its weakness. And so NSD yen made some recovery here, some recovery gains. And on the daily, it's been stuck in a trading range, just being capped by this resistance. And that resistance is 69, you know, 69.900. You can see it looking to the left. We had our last push down here, and our previous rally failed to go higher than 69.900, and we had another attempt and a short from that level. So for NSD yen, I mean, you know, since the trade war phase 1 is happening right now with US and China, we could have the long, right? We could have the long from here if we get a close above 69.900, or we can have a short if we break this trend line which we drew. So going to the 4 hour, we can see we have this pretty nice trend line. If we get a break of that trend line, and more importantly, this hourly support 68.900, you can see the support here, and previous resistance. If we get a break below 69 flat, we're going short. So that is what I see for NSD yen. Pretty solid setups for next week as well. So I think that should do it. Hopefully that helped. And today's the last day for our 1+1 offer. And it was called the Halloween promotion. And basically what it is if you sign up for a month of